Hey, what's up, kids here? And today we will be doing 10 tips and tricks for absolute beginners because I was an absolute beginner 2 days ago and I'm just here sharing all the knowledge that I have found within the game to help other beginners that are just starting out right now. So let's go ahead and start. First is let's look at the total power of each of your character or your total team, basically. So things that you have to know is that equipments over here are shared based on their classes. So characters in the game have their own classes. So if you long press them, you'll see that Cecia here is a marksman, Toran over here is a tank, and Sylvina is a rogue, so on and so forth. So if you click on artifact or equipment over here, their equipments are actually shared with all other marksman classes. So you can see here, all the marksmen over here have the same equipment, and this is actually really good so that we actually don't have to equip each character one by one. So very, very helpful tool right here. Another thing to note here, second tip, is that the hands of resonance over here is basically telling you what levels all your characters are going to be. All your other characters that are down here are basically going to follow the lowest level that is here in your hands of resonance. So for example, mine is at level 63. So if ever I get these two to level 64, everyone else will be level 64. And if you're trying to switch out another character up here, like for example, you want the assassin character to be level 71, you can just edit this one, move her over here, and confirm. Right? So there you go. So now she's Sylvina's now level 71, and my Cecia is now level 68. So you can do that anytime you want if you're in need for other characters. For example, you want to go with a Mauler team, right? You want to go Maulers, you get all the Maulers right here and give them the levels, right? Usually you don't need to swap the last two slots because, that's the lowest level for everyone anyway. But yeah, usually the highest levels are on the left and the lower levels are on the right. So yeah. All right, next up, a lot of people might actually miss this, but if you click on your map and if you click on exploration progress, there are a lot of crystal rewards over here, crystal or diamond rewards. So you look at Holystone, it's pretty simple actually, just find all the chests. Chests are actually marked on the map. So if you go to the map, you can see here there are huge chests over here that I haven't opened yet. Most of them, I 100%ed already. So yeah, no need to look for them. That's why it's 100% progression, right? Both are 100%. And now we're at Dark Forest. And you can see here how many chests you've missed. And each of them, once you complete them, you're going to get an equipment for your characters. And also, for each stage of progression, you get diamonds. Diamonds are currency that's used for summoning in this game. So it's a really, really good thing to actually have a lot of. Next tip is something with regards the wish list. So if you go in game and you go to your summons, you actually have this thing called the wish list right here. So the thing with the wish list is that whenever you summon any S level or A level hero, you're actually guaranteed to get from this pool right here. So it's actually very easy, very simple to get what you need because especially for S level, you have like 2, 4, 6, 8. You have 1 in 8 chances whenever an S level character comes out that it's going to be something that you actually really need. So you can choose which characters you actually need from the selections that you can pick from, right? Because a lot of these characters right here are, well, some of the characters here are not really good early on, some are pretty important early on, so on and so forth. You can just look for a tier list, Google it out, and search out every character that you don't need or maybe something that you need later on. It's the same thing with epic recruitment over here, and this time you're guaranteed 1 out of 5, right? If you select one, right, it's actually possible to get an A level character. If you select an A level character from here, you're gonna be given five copies basically. I think it's 5 copies of an A level character. So it's still pretty okay to actually get an A level character, especially if you are not looking for any S S level characters. For me, I'm actually looking for where's Smokey. Why is he not in my pool? Hello? We're crazy. Alright. Okay, next step is something that a lot of people actually don't seem to notice, but if you go to your menu and then you go to guide, there's these things that are indicated or has this new indicator right here. If it says new, you basically have free crystals or diamonds from it. So you have to click this thing up here. So I didn't notice this one at first, but now there you go. It's 30 crystals for each of the tips that you actually see over here. So yeah. Just click it, free 30 diamonds for everyone. Next up is combat related. So if you look on the top left whenever you're trying to start or when you're setting up for a battle, this top left here is indicating your power, but below that, there is this faction bonus thing right here. So faction bonus is basically saying that whenever you put 3 or more characters from the same faction, for example, here I have 5 from Graveborn, I get bonuses. So bonuses for everyone is attack and HP. Okay? So basically, if you have 3 or 3 plus 2, something, there you go. This is the arrangement, right? So right now it's 22-22 because that's our max, right? We have 5 heroes. But if we change up 1, 2, and we put in these two right here, we're expected to have 14, right? That's 3 and then plus 2, right? But if we have 4, that's 4, now we're at 18. So 18% attack and 18% HP. Okay? Thing here is for Celestial and Hypogean. These are things that you will be getting later on, but yeah, you don't really have to think about this one later. But basically, they're filling in for any faction. Okay, there are also elemental advantages, disadvantages. So Graveborn is strong against Lightborn, Lightborn strong against Smaller, Smaller strong against Wilders, and Wilders are strong against Graveborn. So sometimes it's good to diversify, sometimes it's good to change your characters according to what you are fighting as well. Another thing for combat is that sometimes there are rogue characters like Sylvina over here that has a very special ability. At start of the round, she gets to jump at whatever has this indicator right here. So initially, I was not able to spot this. So yeah, I was just not really picking my targets right. But basically, when you're looking at your opponents, you want to position correctly. If you want to target a specific character, for example, like this one right here, I want to aim the marksman. I want to target this one right here or this one right here. It's also possible to target the front line. It's just based on where you actually place her, right? So he's over here in the front, she's in the front, she's in the back. Okay, so it's basically like the opposite side. I don't have Vala, but Vala basically is, I think, diagonal. The targeting is diagonal and the shape or the dagger is a different icon for Vala. So you just have to look out for this one. Sometimes you'll see people that are trying to counter this one by putting their tanks at the back. This is actually also a pretty good counter to assassins or to a rogue character like Sylvina jumping towards your backline and having them face on so many melee units right on. Okay, so this is very useful to think about and plan on once you get into PvP in arena or honor duels. And then one more thing for combat, this is a bonus one. So you have your artifacts over here. So you can actually swap them out whenever you need to. Something to note here is that the stats, the passive stats here are actually, I think, applied. Even if the artifact is not equipped. It's just the active abilities from the artifact is the one that's going to be changed. So this one is for attack speed. This one is for more healing. So depending on the situation, you can switch it out anytime you want before combat as well. Next, let's talk about your AFK. So this game is called AFK Journey, but there's not actually a lot of AFK to do once you are online. That's something good about it because once you are offline, this is when this thing kicks in. This is the AFK rewards that you can get. So whenever you're offline, you get rewards that are usually used for leveling up your characters. Those things are these things right here. Gold, this hero essence right here, and training manuals. Something to note for in this one is that there's actually a max AFK duration. So if you look at here, I have 22 hours of max AFK duration. Mystic collection bonus, I don't actually know what that means, but once I learn what it is about, I'll let you know. But if you guys know, let us know in the comments below. So basically, there's a max AFK duration. So if you go over 22 hours of AFK or offline, then you will not be receiving more than what's intended for you. These things are increased by achievements over here in Mystic Collection. So there are bonuses here that are pertaining to AFK stuff, right? So AFK rewards, daily AFK essence, daily AFK XP, AFK gold, and AFK time, right? So these things here increase based on the achievements that you achieve over here, right? Rank in the top 80% of Dream Realm times 3, something like that, right? So those are the things that you have to do in order to increase your AFK time. Another thing to note is that the rewards that you get from being AFK corresponds to the stage that you have beaten up here on the AFK stages. Sometimes you can actually get stuck on some stages, and the only thing for you to do is to wait it out for the next day and get to level up your characters. Sometimes it's also useful to actually look at team compositions by other players. So if you click on this information thingy right here, can you see it? Yeah, this thing. If you click on this one, you'll actually be able to see what other players are running in this stage. So stage 174, but usually you'll see a lot of people that are very overpowered already. But yeah, you can see here the characters that they are using, and you can maybe try to copy them if you have the same characters, or if you don't, then sad, right? So my battle power right now is 45,000, and if you go to information and records, this team's battle power is 31k, right? So how? Sometimes it's just more of positioning diff or something that happened in game for you to be able to do this, but you can also just do a replay on it to see what actually happened in game for them. And there you go. Looks like his Tauran did not die. And this Cecia is just going to clean up, right? Rowan Cecia combo is really, really nice because you get to put down... I mean, Cecia gets to put down Mr. Carlisle much faster. And he can dish out so much damage early on. So yeah, you can see there, this is just 4 units and he was able to complete it. Right? So those are things that you can learn if you're having a hard time trying to clear AFK stages. Last thing that I have is going to be something on the characters and rewards as well. So if you click on your characters, there's actually an affinity system in the game. So if you click on the top right over here, you have affinity, and what you can do is you can actually give them gifts. These things are usually items that you can pick up from the world while exploring, right? You have to manually pick them up. They're not like the gold or dust that's lying around and you just have to pass them. You have to actually press F to actually pick them up when you're exploring. So yeah, you're basically trying to give them these things to get their affinity up. And what's good about this is that there's actually rewards. So take note, at 700 affinity, you get 50 crystals. And the other important one is at affinity 1300, you get invite letters. So these things are the ones that you use for summoning. So it's pretty good to actually get most of your characters, or if not all your characters, to affinity 1300, right? This one's not gonna make it, but we're gonna try anyway, right? So we're at 500. So once we get 1300, then we get to summon. Anyways, that's it for me. That's 10 tips. I think there's one bonus tip in there as well. If you have any more tips and tricks for beginners like me and other players that are watching this video, leave it down in the comments below. And if this video was helpful to you, please press the like button, subscribe if you haven't yet, and see you again next time. Bye-bye.